Hi, folks. This is Double Crown, and I'm going to do a completely different kind of commentary today, totally unrelated to the video. Well, we'll see what happens anyway. See what you make of it. Yeah, I was going to talk about Mars One. You know that crazy mission to Mars, which they plan to do by the year 2024. So yeah, that's only 9, 10 years away, and they plan to get a group of people on Mars and living there. It's a one-way mission, and yeah, there's been a new development with that. They're down to their final 100 candidates. Basically, what they did was they allowed anybody to apply. Um, and they've gradually been whittling down that through a series of processes like, you know, medical interviews, tests, etc., IQ tests, online tests, interviews, etc. So they've gradually whittled it down, and they're down to their last 100 applicants from about originally from 200,000 people from all over the world have applied, and obviously mostly from North America, as you'd kind of expect. With NASA and everything, you'd kind of expect them to choose Americans mostly. But they've got about 39 Americans, or from people from North and South America. Then they've got 31 people from Europe, um, about 16 people from Asia, and the rest from places like Australia, Oceania, etc., Africa, etc. Yeah, so the latest development, anyway, is that they're down to they've chosen 5 British candidates. Yep, and I can give you some background on these candidates. Um, they're choosing people with degrees, typically young, 24 years old, 25, although there is somebody who's into their 30s, I think, somebody who's 35. But yeah, they're choosing people with things like astrophysics degrees, astronomy. There's a science lab technician, and then we've got a systems integration manager for Virgin Media. So yeah, I don't know if those skills are particularly helpful. I wouldn't have thought, surviving in a harsh environment would really be something that you'd need an astrophysics degree for. It kind of doesn't really make sense. You'd probably expect people like sportsmen, rugby players or whatever, to do better in this kind of harsh environment. But yeah, I mean, obviously, they want intelligent people. They're going to have to do a lot of training. Now, there's going to be an 8-year training period. So, they've got till 2024, 2025. There's already been delays, apparently. And of course, they've got to raise the funds as well. They need about 6 billion American dollars to do this. And I think they've only so far raised about 500,000. So they need billions, and they've only raised, I don't think they've even raised 1 million, to be honest. But most of the funds are going to come from this kind of reality TV show that they're going to do. The final candidates, I think there's going to be about 40 final candidates, um, but only 4 of those will actually travel on the first mission. So we're going to be able to decide, that is the general viewing public, people who tune into this crazy reality TV show. We're going to be able to choose. So, not necessarily the best candidates are going to go through. It's going to be people who are entertaining or people that the public like. Not necessarily the most skilled, not necessarily the most able to survive, etc. So that's gonna be how they raise the money from this reality TV show. And of course, that hasn't started. So the bulk of the funding is actually going to be at the tail end of all of this. That's when the bulk of the money coming in. And of course, NASA are planning their own trip to Mars, their own manned trip as well, and they're going to try and do it properly. So it's going to be interesting as to who gets there first, whether it's going to be NASA, or whether it's going to be Mars One. And NASA, they've set a much bigger, longer time schedule. 2030, I think they're planning. So Mars One has got 5 years. In the end, they might end up combining. Mars One and NASA might end up combining their missions. I imagine that's the way it's going to go. Because I can't imagine that Mars One is going to succeed by itself or is going to succeed without NASA's help. But yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. There's all kinds of issues, technical issues that they still haven't resolved. Things like, the issues of low gravity. They still haven't even built a rocket that can actually take a group of 4 people to Mars. Um, Things like how they're going to cope with loneliness, with poor quality food, just going to the toilet is a task in itself. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of issues there that are kind of unresolved, and of course there's radiation as well, because Mars is pretty deadly. There's no atmosphere, well, not much atmosphere. It's classed as a vacuum, in any kind of, if it was a medical laboratory or if it was kind of a laboratory, a science laboratory, Mars would be classed as a vacuum. So there's no effective atmosphere. So it's going to be amazing if this ever gets off the ground. Um, but yeah, I thought I'd do a different video today. Something different, talk about something different rather than just chatting about the game. But yeah, thanks for watching. That was Uncharted in the background, the mini game in PlayStation Home. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon. Bye for now.